Hey guys, Monks here of course, and today we're playing the Des Moines! Yes! First look at the Des Moines, and I believe our actually first game as well. I already have a bunch of games lined up for Des Moines, so hope you don't get tired of the boat, because I've got quite a lot of videos ready, or in the making at least, of this boat, sorry. So yeah, I'm not gonna leave the commander because I'm still experimenting a little bit. By the time I'm recording video, I already have a build set up, and I will get to the masterclass for Des Moines soon. I'm just trying to get the most optimal playstyle of the boat. Now, if you play this boat like a Baltimore, it does do the job. Literally, it's just like a Baltimore, except it has a couple of unique differences. Now, we'll discuss the Des Moines further in a masterclass, but long story short, this is a Baltimore on steroids, and I mean every concept of the word. When you take steroids and so forth, you have brittle bones. This thing has a raised citadel, and this thing's DPM is insane. Those 203s are not 203s. They're not the ones you know and love from the Baltimore. These are 203s that have been soaked in freedom, in pure capitalism, brought up again, tempered, soaked again, brought back up again. These guns are insane. These are the 203s from the heavens. These are crafted by dwarfs. You know, you name it. It's just, these 203s are insane. So yeah, it's Des Moines for you. Amazingly good guns. Fast fire rate of 203mm guns. These are very big caliber guns, and the fire rate is just insane. So as you can see, as you mentioned in our thumbnail, we are fighting Mr. Aaron in, I don't know if it's his first game. This was my first game in Des Moines. This was live on the stream, guys, so if you have seen it, then, you know, kudos to you. I've got a masterclass coming up soon that you probably won't have seen, so that'll be interesting. And I've got other games coming up as well. So yeah, Des Moines here, we got to respect him. We do know this Des Moines has serious DPM, so we're going to be careful and approach cautiously. Now, our team are kind of passive here. They're kind of just poking the area out. It's only 2 minutes in, so we can't be too aggressive because there is indeed an Alabama and a Yamato, and of course all those cruisers that got a very strong DPM and very scary in general, because this thing is only coated in 27mm with 30mm deck. Now 30mm deck is important because at a range you can bounce 16-inch shells from your deck. So very good. At range it means you're actually relatively safe from a lot of different battleships, even 16-inch guns, except the Georgian. But now, this is where you see the amazingly good shell arcs of the Des Moines. Not only do they have the American shell arcs where they can float really well, but they also have the punchiness, as you can see, and they also have the fast velocity as well. They're actually surprisingly quick. And we just citadeled the Wichita, by the way. 3 pens, 3 over pens. We're getting some really nasty shots on an angled Wichita, so you can tell these guns really are special indeed. 5 over pens, 6 pens, and 4 bounces. Yeah, we're hitting him bow on. You gotta remember that. So he just broke his gun turret. We swapped to HE because he's basically bow on here, but you know, again, you're firing 203mm guns. You've got a pretty good fire chance, and you've got a 5.5 second reload is base. So this Wichita is he's losing this fight. My 2 guns versus his 2 guns, we have the same caliber. My reload's on a whole different level from his, and if he wants to take that fight, then he's gonna have a fun day. I'm just gonna ignore him. I'd rather get the damage done on the Baltimore, Bismarck, sorry. So I'll do that. And yeah, we go dark here. I don't want to take too much fire here, but I can handle that. So I'm just going to fire the AP. I already damaged his gun once. See if I can break it permanently. That's not a good idea. Cutting away. Oh, just break his gun. The AP is so good. It's just insane. It really is. Honestly, you never find... I rarely use HE in this boat at all. But even if you do, the HE is great as well, because you've got these big caliber guns, these big hard-hitting HE shells. And it got a pretty decent fire chance, and again, 5.5 second reload is base, so it can only improve after that. And when you're firing this many shells that have a really good fire rate, and they're big caliber guns as well, at this reload, it's inevitable to get some ridiculously good fires, ridiculously good AP, ridiculously good HE. The guns are just amazing at Des Moines, but it is fragile. It is only coated in 27, and for a legendary tier boat, pretty much everything you'll fight is going to be 16 and above if it's only legendaries. Of course, tier 7 has a lot of other non-16 gun combatants, such as Bismarck and Odin and stuff like that. Flandre, the new one as well. But yeah, no, this thing is pretty darn mean in a tier 7 game. But the 30mm deck does give it a bit more survivability. But broadside, it is got a raised citadel. You're pretty much guaranteed death because it is extended and it is raised in comparison to the likes of the Baltimore. It's nothing like the Wichita where it's got invisible one. The initial enormous games is actually there. Yeah, you'll find it of these guns though. As you can see, we're just trying to get the AP going, and you can see pretty well. Pretty even. We're shooting a Bismarck at 15.5 kilometers away. We get 6 overpens and 3 pens. And you see, look at the angle. We're at a pretty good angle, but evidently not good enough for the Bismarck's improved penetration angles. And that is a citadel right there. One citadel, but still, you can see the downside to this bow. It can really hurt if you give the wrong angle. And Bismarck 15 kilometers away, he did get a citadel there. It's a little bit cheeky in his part, but hey. Prince Eugen is shooting HE and our angled side. Again, good idea for him. His HE does pen quite heavily and it'll do some sizable damage if we leave it to do his job. Aaron, I believe, radars us, so we fire the HE because we just had it loaded. And we're going to go with AP here again. See if we can get that cheeky citadel like the Bismarck did on us. That's a realistic goal here. We can aim up into superstructure, maybe plunge down into the deck. He's firing HE at us, which is probably the best bet, but again, AP has that potential gun breaking potential. Like we saw with the Wichita, we're just going to smack him here. We just damage his gun turret. Can we go with it again? Oh, yeah, we broke his gun turret permanently. I bet he's not happy with that. That is going to be bad. Oh, we're trying to see if we can break the other one, and then he'll be completely screwed basically, because let's be real here, guys. The Des Moines, most cases, has 2 gun turrets, and losing one of your front gun turrets permanently is really bad. That's basically a 50% decrease of your DPM in total. Even though you do have 3 guns, it's very rare you get to use all 3 guns in relatively safety like this. But you can see we can use them in this situation here because we have Rattling cover. So we can really mess up this Prince Eugen here. And again, you can see doesn't really matter too much the angle. It's pretty just darn disgusting, the AP, what it can pull off, and you see how just crazy it can go. And the DPM, these are 203mm guns. These pack a one hell of a wallop. We just citadeled him here, and we got another citadel. That was a death strike on the Prince Eugen, and the Prince Eugen is a hard boat to citadel. It does have a turtle-like armor scheme, which is effective on cruisers. It's not really as effective in battleships, but it does actually work. Now, we are of course strong here, very strong boat, good DPM, but you got to respect the other Des Moines. We got to respect everyone here. He could absolutely ruin us if we just broke through that corner, so we're not going to do that. We're just going to here shoot AP spam this Bismarck, make sure his health just drops, and that's what it does. You may think HE is the way to go. It's not. It's it's AP, sorry. You could shoot HE maybe to break the get the fires set, but the AP is straight up DPM, straight up damage. You definitely want to use it. As you saw before, the guns can be broken, so just be aware of that. So just try and wiggle your butt and try and make sure it hits your sides, your 27mm sides. Obviously not at an angle where you've been citadeled, just a comfortable angle. Wiggle your butt, make sure it hits the deck armor. 30mm deck bounces most of the shells, including the Bismarck. That will bounce that, assuming it has the angle to bounce. Yeah, so happy Shimikaze actually drops as a smoke screen, which is really quite nice. Amazing, but I'm really scared that he's going to pop out in front of the Des Moines there and get radared, and he's 100% going to die if he does that. So I'm like, I appreciate the smoke, but need to get back, and that was my plan there. So yeah, interesting enough. He did fire some towards the Des Moines. We'll see if that gets a hit. Des Moines is not bad in terms of agility. It's not amazing, but hey, he actually does kill Aaron, which is surprising. I thought Aaron would radar, but he must have been off cooldown. To be fair, his team did not push very much at all, but they were kind of being forced back pretty aggressively on this side, at least, because they saw what happened to the Wichita. Was kind of terrified. We terrified the Wichita pretty much, and he wasn't happy with what we did to him. The Minotaur as well, he got citadeled, I believe. Well, you know what happened to the Bismarck, and again, he's had to run away. And yeah, it may not feel like much. You've only fired AP this pretty much this whole game. We fired a little bit of HE, and we've already got 123,000. And you know, really, you may not see it immediately, but if you look at the span of the game, that Bismarck has been really messed up, and it's mostly been just us. I mean, the Worcester did burn him down pretty significantly. He actually got the Arsenal award there, but the AP we did to him is certainly, it really does add up. And you know, it's insane. It really is a really strong deterrent. And this is how I'd recommend you play the Des Moines. I'll go into more of this detail in the masterclass later on, which will come up very soon. But yeah, you really want to use your guns, and you really want to hold that position, just attack it, really. Now, Yamato can absolutely destroy us, so we're going to be very careful with Yamato. And we're just going to try and use our American floaty shell arcs that are still fast, which makes no sense. These are literally magical shell arcs. You can't have floatiness and speed, but you know, with Des Moines you can. So yeah, we're just, you know, farming the rest of what's left of this Yamato. We have some god tier penetration, but it's going to be difficult to citadel a Yamato at this range. But we can get some meaty pens, and that is enough to just rip the Yamato a new one. And that's up to 153,000. Now we can push in and fight this Alaska, who's giving us a relative broadside. Should have been a little bit lower there, but we'll see how that works. He is going to turn in, so they're probably going to get nothing done here. He is quite far away, and the shell arcs, it is difficult to hit things at longer ranges. But again, you have this extreme fire rate. It doesn't matter too much because you can just keep progressing and keep pushing here. Now, we could fast forward this a little bit. You know, fast forward a little bit here. Nothing really happens. We set it to fire, and the Atlanta's getting in position. Basically, the other friendly legendary tier cruiser, I believe it's Alaska, is fighting him as well. We're just basically going to corner him. So yeah, 2 seconds. Actually, watching this here, the Worcester picks up the Witherer, and he actually kills the DD, and that's 1,000 points because Alaska was not willing to push out. So we're just going to have to settle for 154,000 for your first game in Des Moines, you know, just casual, you know. I would say if you know how to play cruisers, particularly the Baltimore and that sort of style play, the heavy cruiser, American heavy cruiser line, you'll have a fun day. So yeah, that's Des Moines for you guys. Pretty darn disgusting boat if played correctly. So if you know how to play American heavy cruisers, this is the boat for you. And yeah, it's going to be pretty disgusting. So guys, hope you had a wonderful day. I will catch you next time, and bye for now.